my Farmshare friends. This is Darlene here with week 15 Farmshares. I apologize, it has been so long since I've touched base with you, shared any recipes, talked about what's in your Farmshare bag. It might be the heat getting to us or just the craziness of the farm, but we are in this really nice transition time between our early summer crops coming out and the late summer crops and fall crops going in. So we actually, in addition to the 11 workers that we have here on the farm with us, have brought in 2 additional young men to help us dive deep into the weeds, the potatoes, the onions, the everything, the weeds, to resurface some of our garden beds that went crazy over the summer and get all of our winter squash, butternut squash. We do a little butternut's about this big. It's called honey nut. It's amazing. So we're so excited about those getting in the ground this week. In addition to that, we've planted some additional cucumbers are going in. So we'll have a fall planting of cucumbers. We are in the process of building a new high tunnel. So the structure is up for this greenhouse. And we just put shade cloth over the top right now, but then we'll come back in like a week or 2 weeks and add the actual plastic and get it certified as the full greenhouse. But we are growing our cucumbers in there and a second batch of tomatoes, 2 additional rows of tomatoes that are gonna be our late season. Those should take us right into December. But these greenhouses are gonna allow us for 4 seasons growing. It allows us to extend that summer, and now we're being like really succession planting things like cucumbers and tomatoes where we haven't had time for that in the past. So what else is going on around the farm? We've got the half shares that didn't get corn last week are getting a bag of corn this week in their farm share. We do have 1 more planting of corn in the ground, but that late season planting is questionable. It just depends on how our fall goes, as if there's production or not. So we've got our fingers crossed that continues to produce. It's looking great. It was a rough start kind of getting it in the heat. But I do want to thank all of our farmers that have worked through us with this heat over the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. It's been really brutal some days. But as you can see outside right now, it's overcast. The 89-degree forecast now, it's probably about 80 or even 75 or so right now. There's a nice breeze. So there was a huge cool down with this front coming in, and we are so thankful for that on the farm. We do have some romaine lettuce coming in, so I know you guys have been eager to get some of those cooler weather crops in. So we've got some summer lettuce coming in. We've had it under a shade cloth and then overhead watering to keep that chilled or cool in this hot weather, so that way it continues to grow. It looks beautiful. So that's on the horizon. We've got kale coming in, so that's exciting to get some of those greens back in. What else, Carice, do we have going on? Zucchini. We planted 4 plantings of zucchini at the beginning of the season, succession, a week or 2 weeks apart. The bugs have taken them all out. So if you've had zucchini at home, this is usually when home gardeners are eating their zucchini. And now our 5th planting of zucchini is just starting to produce this week. So you guys are gonna start seeing that in your Farmshare bag. Cucumbers, yes. So we've still got cucumbers coming in. They kind of took a hiatus and they look like they're gonna start putting off some blossoms again. Just the humidity changes the production. It's really, really crazy to see it firsthand how heat and humidity can change. The green beans are abundant right now. So we've got green beans. I think this is probably the 3rd week in a row that we're getting green beans back. We have watermelon. So we succession plant, I think 4 different successions of watermelon and cantaloupe. So those are coming back in. So we've got watermelon in this week's farm share. Again, yellow, orange, or red inside. There's a new variety that's growing. It's got a really dark shell. So that's our shell, rind. So that's fun. So it's always a surprise when you get those to see what's in there. Oh my gosh, I've had so many things I want to share with you, but I'm just going to dive in and share as I'm reminded. So you will have kale or romaine heads this week. Again, both of those are kind of slow to come in, so we're going to start integrating them in over the next few weeks. So this is our baby kale. Use this as your salad tender. You don't have to devein it, anything like that. We usually don't grow kale that big like they do, like the dinosaur kale. We have the flat Roma style green beans in your farm share this week. Again, my favorite way to do those is to blister them. So get your cast iron hot with some oil, and then blister that green bean. And then once those are blistered on both sides, I just throw a little bit of water in there, put a lid on it, and steam them the rest of the way. And then when they're done, I'll add a little bit of sea salt to that. And we've got carrots. We have tried so hard and worked so hard successfully to get carrots to you guys for so many weeks. It's one of those things people like, I just can't get enough of carrots. So I hope that we haven't inundated anybody with carrots and that you found a good use for them always. So sweet peppers are still coming on. This was cool. We did overwintered our sweet peppers. So while it was a little costly, as we perfected our heating methods, I think we've got it down, but we were able to trim down our sweet peppers pretty low and then do a low tunnel with a frost cloth and plastic on really cold nights and run a heater tube right down the middle to heat those and keep them alive. Which, well, I was looking at Facebook memories just last week. I'd seen that in the previous year's Farmshare, we were just getting sweet peppers because it takes a while for those plants to get established. And then you sit with these green peppers, especially if you have some at home, you're like, green pepper, green pepper, green pepper, when are you going to change? And then finally they all change. So we were able to get colored peppers at least a far month before we've ever been able to do that in the past. So we are giving you guys an abundance of onions. Just stick these in your refrigerator, stick them in your produce drawer. They will last. They're going to last you into the fall. You know, so if you are overwhelmed with onions, yes, they will last for you. So one of those things. You can also slice them up and save them, freeze them, something like that for production cooking this winter and fall. We've got green zucchini, we've got yellow zucchini also coming in. After that, we'll have yellow summer squash. You have your watermelons, nice sunspot on that one. One of the stories I've been sharing a lot is everybody comes from the market like, is the watermelon any good? You know, it's like, I constantly get asked this, but it's based on how we harvest them with the spoon leaf and the tendrils to ensure that you guys are getting fresh watermelons. We have some slicing tomatoes for you today and our yellow potatoes. Again, these are gonna last you. Just stick them in a brown paper bag that they came in, stick that in your refrigerator, and they will last you into the fall. So don't feel alarmed if you're getting too many potatoes or onions. These potatoes, I just boiled some the other day to make mashed potatoes, but I made my mother-in-law who works the market and my daughter, you know, and my husband, all of us that work the market, try it so we can be able to explain that to people. But it is a creamy, super sweet yellow potato. It is so nice. Actually, my mother-in-law was like, can I take some of these home for my dinner? Because they were so yummy. So, oh man. So this is week 15. So the last week of September will be our main season week. That is because next week, I'll send this out in verbiage too. Next week, our family is going to be gone. We are taking a week off to head to the beach. So we will have no Farmshare next week. If you do need something, the team will have the farm open if you do need to stock up on anything while we are out. So next week, there will be no Farmshare. The following week, I will send out a message for the half shares on who's picking up, just because sometimes that can be confusing getting that week off. So if you were supposed to pick up next week, that'll be moved to the following, which I think is like September. Well, no, I'm looking at the far ahead. And then if you picked up this week, you'll pick up 3 weeks from now, because it won't be next week. And then the following week will be the your partnered half season, and then you're the following week. So I'll send out those names or last names in a message so you know, have some clarification on when to pick up. And I think that's it. Thank you guys. We're so excited as we come into all these new crops, kind of getting lots of things in the ground. So talk to you soon.